So the way our thoughts manage our reality is vital. And we're needing to manage our thoughts very well and not think, I am my thoughts, I'm a victim of my thoughts, I can't help it. Stop. Your thoughts are like your computer. You manage your computer. And you decide what to do on it. Don't let it manage you. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but we tend to become too much a victim of our own thinking and don't realize the tools we have. And I'm not going to go into it tonight, but just the thought in Philippians 2 where Paul says, put this mind on that was in Christ. So, the idea of getting dressed in the morning, the idea of putting on a mind, putting on a thinking pattern, or taking off a pattern that is not helpful and replacing it with a more helpful one. On Saturday, we're having a quiet day, a retreat from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on. How do we put on the mind of Christ? What does it look like? Because it's a nice religious idea, but in practice, how do we deal with it? How do we actually physically do it? How do we begin to think different thoughts? How do we identify our own thinking patterns and begin to actually say, well, I choose a different pattern. I choose a different outfit. I choose whatever. In looking at thoughts, we're needing to develop an intuitive sensitivity to the weight of a thought, to the energy of a thought, to the quality of the thought, so that you're separating different thoughts. They all come out of your head, but one thought will have more energy than another thought. Another thought will have more of an emotive sense. Another thought will have more of a flat feel. Another thought will have more of a sort of sour taste to it. You with me? Rises and falls in energy are very telling. Familiarity or unfamiliarity is also very telling. It's like when something is repeated, it just develops more momentum, and so it has a different feeling from something that's unfamiliar. The emotional content of words or phrases is very telling. When you say something to yourself, what do you feel? Do you feel anything? Do you sense any movement in yourself emotionally? Okay? When Jesus says, why do you want to take the splinter out of your brother or sister's eye and you don't see the beam in your own eye? Other people's self-talk is always more evocative than our own, but it's hooked, it's linked. That's why we get so energetic to take a splinter out of somebody else's eye, but we've got this beam in our own eye. Because we're trying to fix their self-talk because we pick it up and we don't deal with it ourselves. You with me? Sometimes it's more easy to see somebody else's self-talk than your own in terms of what we react to, what turns on our emotions, what flattens our emotions, what makes us angry, what makes us give up. They sort of like a mirror that mirror our self-talk to us. Because in a vacuum, you don't really know what your self-talk is, you just act. But when you start interacting with somebody else, it's almost like they cut across the force field and they give you something to sort of say, hey, it should be like this, not like that. Is that all right? We all share a common humanity, so we share a lot of our same issues around joy and pain.